So yeah, like I said, I was actually scrolling TikTok one evening and there was some ad that popped up about you can start your own business alongside your 9 to 5, and I just thought,
Welcome back to Rad-Ventures, stories of entrepreneurs and innovators. This week, or this episode, should I say? This episode, we have Michelle, TikTok Queen. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
thank you so much for having me.
You are most welcome. How about you tell our watchers and listeners all about yourself?
Right. Okay. I mean, my whole life, or
Yeah, why not? Just go for everything. I'll stop you at an hour and we'll end the episode there.
yeah. Right. So I'm Dorset, pretty much. Well, I'm Hampshire born, but mostly Dorset bred, and absolutely love where I live. It's a brilliant area. So I have, work-wise, I have been. I've done quite a few different things, but the majority of my adult life I was actually in finance. So either working for big corporates or I worked with my dad in a financial advisor's office for about 16 years. And we built up that business together. So I was always quite interested in building of businesses, which I did with him. But at one point, I decided to see if I could just do a little bit of a side hustle business alongside my compliance officer role, and just started doing some affiliate marketing type things. And someone advised me at the time to get onto TikTok, and that was just over 4 years ago now. And I just thought, I don't want to do that. If I put myself out there, I will get trolls. Who knows what will happen? It will be awful. But at the same time, I knew it was, still a fairly new platform. So this was 2021, so it was about a year after COVID. And everyone had found TikTok, but not many people were on TikTok yet. And I just thought, why not? Why just give it a go? What's the worst that could happen? And things really evolved from there, and I did very well in my business and managed to get most of the people that came into my business, the clients, through TikTok. And then I realised I was onto something, and I thought I can show other people how to do this. And then so my business kind of evolved to showing other people how to do TikTok, including business owners, that sort of thing. And at one point I became a TikTok shop affiliate, so I was making money through that as well. So different ways of making money. And currently I've stopped the TikTok shop affiliate stuff. The rules have changed to the point that I'm not comfortable with what it does. And I'm doing more in the way of digital marketing. So I set up a brand new TikTok channel for that, showing people how I'm setting up this digital marketing company, what kind of products I'm making, and then, hopefully making some sales through that as well. So that's sort of been the evolution of how I got onto TikTok. I'm nearly 46. Next month I'm 46 years old. So I haven't let the fact that most people think TikTok is for 15, 20-year-olds who do dances, I haven't let that put me off in the slightest, and try and encourage others to not use age as an excuse for it as well. So that's where I am now.
That puts me out then, doesn't it? Keep saying I'm 39, I can't be on TikTok.
Yeah, absolute rubbish.
Oh, that's my TikTok excuses done with then.
Yes.
I better get on it. Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. TikTok, I remember it like, everyone was watching it in lockdown kind of thing, weren't they? It was all like, what are you doing? And then the people were doing, I know friends who were doing TikTok dances with their kids and stuff. And you do have that kind of TikTok just for sort of silly dances, isn't it? But actually, if you go on there, there's a plethora of different genres on there, and you just got to find what you like. And then once you found one, then it just shows you them constantly forever, doesn't it?
Yeah, the algorithm's so powerful. So if you watch a video to the end, you will start seeing far more of that type of video. So if you're starting to see something that you've accidentally watched to the end and you don't want to see too much of that anymore, the algorithm will very quickly catch up. If you scroll quickly on that type of video, it will realise actually you're not that bothered about it after all.
Yeah, I stumbled across auditor accounts on there. People with, they've got drones and they're flying them over properties
Okay.
and stuff, and then the police turn up And of course, they want you to keep watching, so they make it as dramatic as possible,
Of course,
so
yeah.
that they get longer watch hours and more money. But once, like you like say, once you've seen one, it's like, do you want to watch another? I'm like, no, I've had enough of this now. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, but here's another one, and you're like, no, go away. So close the app.
I accidentally watched some advice on newborn babies to the very end, and then I started seeing newborn baby stuff. But my kids are 7 and 10, so I just sort of accidentally watched it to the end, and I just thought, oh, I've got to retrain the algorithm now, and kept seeing newborn baby stuff. Like I'm out of that phase, so I don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah, cool. So it's really interesting how you got into that. And if we go back then, is that, I mean, obviously back in the day when you were at school, you couldn't be a TikTok influencer kind of thing or an affiliate
No.
marketer. So how did you kind of start your journey back there? Where did you want to go after school?
So originally I wanted to be a vet. I think most kids want to be a vet. I feel like that's one of the things. Then I realised how actually it's not that nice. You've got to see animals die and stuff, and I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to fix things rather than see death and destruction. So I then got more into sort of the media side of things, and ended up doing a GNVQ. I don't know if they still exist anymore. A GNVQ in media in Bournemouth. Then I developed an interest in psychology. I'd gone from thing to thing to thing, so I developed an interest in psychology and did a degree in psychology in the end, and realised about halfway through I don't really want to do this, but I finished the degree, just to finish it really, and then just sort of fell into finance, and I didn't really have a course or a plan, I didn't really think to myself, I want to do this or I want to do that. I didn't really know. I was just trying to find things that interested me. And media still interests me, and psychology still interests me, but I didn't really find careers out of those things.
Okay. So yeah, you're right about the vet thing. I think that is on the list. I wanted to be a vet at one point, and I realised that my worst subject was biology. So that wasn't going to serve me too well to be a vet.
Yeah, you got to do a lot of study to be a vet as well. It takes years.
Yeah, yeah. And then I realised that I also enjoyed psychology,
Okay.
but then I was like, I didn't do too well at A levels, so I moved on from that path rather swiftly. Yeah, interesting. Psychology is one of those but you'd think, well, it's a very interesting subject. In fact, I'll tell you my psychology joke. Have you um have you heard that joke about Pavlov and his dogs?
No.
Does it not ring a bell?
Uh, oh God.
No.
I mean, that's a proper dad joke.
I know. Well, I am a dad, so
That's all
although
right.
interestingly, if you read about Pavlov and his dogs, it's not like in A-level psychology. It's not the nice experiment that we were all taught.
No, it's awful.
Yeah, horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't go into that though.
No,
Um,
a lot of ancient psychology is truly awful what they did to people and animals. So yeah, no, yeah, but it's still nice to know what happens to you when you hear a bell.
so finance then. Fell
Yeah,
into it.
yeah.
But did you start climbing the corporate ladder? Did you kind of get a job, stay with the same company? I mean, you mentioned that you worked with your dad for a good few years, so presumably you cut your teeth somewhere else and then went to work with your dad.
Yeah, so I worked. So before I went, I was a bit of a late starter at university. So I actually worked for a couple of years at a company which I don't think exists anymore called Abbey Life, which is a Bournemouth. Their head office was Bournemouth based. So I worked there for a couple of years. Then I went to university for 3 years. Then I worked at Butlins for a few months, just cause that was amazing. Brilliant time at Butlins. And then I went back into the corporate world, and I just sort of fell back into, yeah, big companies, clerical, medical, and that sort of thing. And then, so I was living at the time in Bristol, and my dad set up his own company back here in Dorset, and said, I was looking at the time, I'd just broken up with someone, I was looking at the time to move back to Dorset, and I just said, do you know of any jobs that are going in the industry? And he said, actually, I kind of have a job. And it was obviously a bit of a risk for us because we hadn't always gotten on brilliantly, especially through my teenage years. So we didn't know how it was going to go. We didn't know if we would work well together as father and daughter. But actually, we'd both matured, and since those times, and it worked brilliantly, really, really well. And like I said, we worked together for about 16 years.
Ah, good. And your dad's a bit of a cool guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not your normal dad. He's not your normal. So he's coming up to 79 years old. He has a part ownership in an aeroplane, a small aeroplane, which he flies around all the time. He's got drones. He's got Mac computers all over the place, very techie. He's the person that if I need anything techie, I go to him, because I'm not in the slightest. So he's just one of those people, and he's really kept his brain going over the years, and he's just as with it as he was in his sort of 40s, 50s.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's cool that he flies a plane as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, you mentioned the tech thing in conversations outside of podcasts. But so obviously at some point you've transitioned from working with your dad to then starting on TikTok. Tell us how that came about then.
So yeah, like I said, I was actually scrolling TikTok one evening, and there was some ad that popped up about you can start your own business alongside your 9 to 5, and I just thought, I was at the point then where my kids, one was just about to go to school and one was in school and the other one was not too far away from going to school. And I just thought it's time. I lost myself as a mum a little bit. I was just mum, and then I did my job and that was it. And I needed something for me. And I'd always had a bit of an entrepreneurial streak all the way through. So I just thought I would like to start my own business. And I did, just for a bit of extra money at the time, I just thought to myself, a bit of extra money, that would be quite nice, wouldn't it? So yeah, I sort of did a couple of different things before I stumbled on affiliate marketing. And that's where I started on TikTok. And I just did everything in the evenings or weekends if I had any time. So when the kids were in bed, when the kids were otherwise being entertained, I fit it in where I could, around my 9 to 5. So, and that's where it started.
Oh, good. And you've got, is it about 118,000 followers on TikTok?
Yeah, I think that's where it is right now. Yeah.
Nice. And was that like quite a quick growth then, or was that has that been steady, or has it slowly built over the past couple of years?
No, so the first sort of 50,000 followers happened within the first 4 or 5 months, and that was because at the time I was doing content that was make money online. So it was things like, here are some different side hustles you can try. So I was just sort of promoting other people's things essentially, and that was a very popular topic. And so the odd video would go viral, and that would bring in a big influx of followers. So I do get regular followers. At 118,000 followers now, my videos get pushed, even old ones, so I do get regular followers on a daily basis, but it's maybe 10, something like that a day. But for me to grow to that amount, that was several viral videos that have meant an influx of followers all at once. So it's been in increments, basically.
Okay. So, and then you mentioned briefly the kind of content you were creating.
Yes.
And then I think you mentioned to me previously that you moved on to kind of products as well.
Yeah.
But so putting you on the spot a little bit now, Instagram and YouTube currently, the content that is wanted is very raw, very real. Less of this perfectly honed influencer cinematic vlogs, all that kind of just chucked out the window. Mobile phone, I wouldn't say 1080 HD videos, more, still 4K. But it's all very, show people who you are. What's the buzzword they're using?
Authentic.
No, that was last year's buzzword. This one's personal brand. That's the one.
Right, okay.
So I presume that you're still on TikTok a little bit and you still kind of keep up with the trends, etc. Have you seen that on TikTok, or is it still very much kind of products and lessons on TikTok?
Well, it was interesting. So at one point I pivoted my channel. So about 2 years ago, maybe, I pivoted the channel and I stopped doing make money online stuff, and I started doing more in the way of mid-40s woman type stuff that, I was just talking about my life. So at one point, so my mum died, and I started talking about the practical side of when someone dies in the UK, because when she died, I had absolutely zero idea what happened or what you had to do or what direction, who do you talk to and when, and what the system was. So in a very practical, not a very emotional way, but a very practical way, I went on and talked about that. And that was a very popular series because most people in the comments were going, I had no idea. And, I've got elderly parents and I'm going to need to know this stuff. So that was kind of educational, but it was also kind of raw at the same time. But I also started talking about things like perimenopause. I'm separated from my husband, I'm co-parent, and I'm a single mum. And so I was talking a little bit about that sort of thing, talking about some health stuff. And that sort of led into the products that I used to promote. So things like supplements that have helped me, collagen that's helped me, skincare, some makeup that I use because, my skin's not the same as it used to be. And I started promoting products that I genuinely use and think are really good quality. So I started doing that as well. And that led to a sort of second career, yet another income stream, which I did full time at one point, not too long ago.
Nice. So it sounds like then that well, as always, TikTok was a little ahead of the curve on Instagram, and that's only just trickling down now, as it were.
Oh, really? Yeah, no. So I've always called TikTok the anti-Instagram because whenever I went on Instagram, it was these perfect people in beautiful scenery, and which isn't for me at all. But TikTok, the more, some of the best videos I've done in terms of views and followers and people going, oh God, this is me too, are the ones where I've got no makeup on, my hair's a mess, the lighting's bad, everything is the opposite of what you're told you should do, but because the content is good, because I'm saying the thing that resonates with the person, that's what makes the video do well. Once I stopped doing the make money online stuff and started doing the my personal life stuff, that's where it all, definitely the authentic thing worked.
So, I mean, for me, I always think like for authentic stuff, if I'm going out there and just I'm going to be me, talk about my stuff, I always wonder where to stop on the old sharing thing, and at what point, and like I always think perhaps it would come across as me moaning about my life kind of thing. Obviously, this is no reflection on you or anything or any other content that anyone's making. This is me personally would feel that someone might see it as me moaning, and there's worse people out there in the world than you moaning about your sweating on the way down to work, down to the office or something. So I kind of I avoid it then because I'm like, oh no, I'd hate for someone to be like, first world problem kind of thing, mate. You're sweating as you're talking to your camera with your iPhone in your pocket when there's someone in somewhere starving to death or whatever, or worse. Obviously, starving to death is quite bad, but
it's all relative, and I think people like to know they're not alone in feeling the way they do. So I think I've mentioned to you that I'm thinking of starting up my own podcast, and the reason is because I genuinely want women of my age to feel like they are not alone, and the problems that I'm going through, millions of others are probably going through as well, and it is all relative. And yes, there are starving people in the world, but there's only so much we can do about that. But what can we do about our own lives and our own problems and what's going on with ourselves? And that's something you can control a little bit. So that's something maybe more to focus on. And yeah, so my content, the content that's done well is the stuff where I've been a bit more raw and opened up a bit. Yes, I have opened myself up to negative comments as well as the positive ones. What brings me joy is people going, oh, it's like you're talking about me. I could have written this, I could have said this. And that's like, okay, you're not alone. And the amount of people that have gone, I'm not alone. I thought it was just me that felt like this. So that's the thing that sort of my purpose in life really is to just go, it's not just you. I'm struggling too. And my channel has never been, I'm an expert in this or I'm an expert in that. I'm not an expert in any one thing. except being a mid-40s woman and not really knowing what I'm doing.
Mm.
So that's my expertise, and I suppose I'm one of the only people that are willing to get out there and talk about it. So therefore, that maybe is the only thing that sets me apart from others, is just I'm willing to talk about it. But what I don't do is include personal details that might upset someone in my family or a friend or something like that. So there are videos I could do, you know, personal videos about my divorce or personal videos about my kids or something like that, but I would never create content. That's my line, is I would never create content that if that person heard it, that they'd go, that's me and that's upset me. You know, I don't want my kids listening back in years to come and going, well, my mum said this about me and that, and I would hate that. And also, I don't show my children on social media. That's a very important thing for me. That's a very big limit for me.
Yeah, I think when we'll come back to TikTok. You've just, we opened up the floor kind of thing, as it were.
Yes, I
When
know.
our daughter was younger, we never showed her on. We never put pictures of her on Facebook. If we were out at an event or something with family or friends, we'd always say, please, can you not post any pictures of Isabella? But now she's 13.
Oh yeah, that's different.
She's on social media herself, and so well, for some of our watchers / listeners might know that I go off on taking photographs with a friend, and we were invited to a local business to do. He was doing the photography. I got invited to go along too. Took Isabella with me, and he said, "Can I take some pictures of her for the event for their social media?" And I said, "Ask her." I was like, "It's okay with me, but if she's happy to have her face plastered on the internet, as it were." Then, so she said, yeah, she took some great pictures, and it's nice to see them pop up on that business's page occasionally.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
yeah, we were very much like.
I do think it's very different when they're old enough to make their own decisions. And yes, if they have social media themselves, and that's a game changer time. But when they're young, they don't have the choice at all, do they? It's just, and I am, I'm not keen on those people that use kids to make money. And I think, do it yourself. You've got your own skills, you've got your own personality, use your own, you can talk about what's happened with your kids. You don't always have to show them, though.
No. So what I was going to say before the kids thing arrived was, you mentioned trolls. Have you found that's like, have you had a lot? Have you had a few?
I have had, it depends. So when a video goes viral, that's when I'm most likely to get an influx of trolls. So I did one earlier in the year where I said, and bearing in mind I'm going through a divorce, so I'm at a certain stage of life, but I said, has anyone else reached the stage where they're just not interested in anyone? There's just zero interest in anyone in that way. And I got an awful lot of women saying, yes, me too, it's perimenopause, it's this, it's that, it's, oh yeah, you just got to a certain stage of life. But then I had multiple men in the channel who, for some reason, took it very personally that I wasn't attracted to them in any way, shape or form, despite the fact I said I'm not attracted to anyone in the slightest. And they went, well, yeah, we wouldn't want you anyway, type thing. And there were an awful lot of those type of comments. But what was lovely from it was that I managed to get a bit of a series of videos where I showed those comments, and there were some quite horrible ones, but I was able to show them on TikTok and just go, look at the type of people that are out there. Look, women, look what we've got.
Yeah.
But then there were other men in the comments, and this was really nice, who were going, yeah, us too, we feel like this, and we feel pretty jaded about the opposite sex. And it's like, yes, I wasn't doing it to sort of be nasty to anyone. It was just does anyone else feel like this video?
Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes to men on the internet, I get embarrassed on behalf of men sometimes. The nice ones, because there are some horrible people out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, not just men. There's horrible ladies there too, and
absolutely
horrible people in general.
Yes.
But some comments that men make on social media, LinkedIn particularly, the business platform, I'm like, really? But it's nice that you turned that into more content.
I did.
Because...
I don't like a bully. If someone tries to bully me a little bit in some way, shape or form, I stand up to them most of the time. There are times where it's affected my mental health to the point that I will just block. And but that's very rare, actually. I am quite a strong person when it comes to that stuff. But when the comments were coming in thick and fast, I mean, my biggest tip to anyone who has gone viral or who is receiving lots of negative comments for something is turn it off. Go for a walk. Don't even look at it until you feel mentally strong enough to be able to again. Don't have your notifications on your phone. Don't have the binging, the pinging notifications. Oh, you've got another one. Just turn it all off. In fact, just turn your phone off and go for a walk and, clear your head a bit, and because it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah, top tip there. And obviously, if people are struggling, there are people you can call.
Oh, 100%,
So
yeah.
we'll pop a link. We'll pop in the show notes. We'll pop something into the Samaritans on there, some of the details and stuff like that, just in case anyone is suffering with that type of online abuse, essentially.
It's harsh. And like you say, you even get it on LinkedIn, which is just, it's meant to be a very professional place, isn't it? And I mean, the thing is, you risk it. When you put yourself out there in any way, shape or form, you are risking other people's opinions coming at you.
Yeah.
And you're either okay with that or you're not okay with that, or you know how to cope with it when it does happen. It was the thing that almost stopped me from starting. That was the main reason.
Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit. And you are always worried about it, aren't you? It's
yeah.
Even with the podcast kind of thing, this is on the internet forever. There's no getting rid of it. It's on YouTube. And luckily, touch wood, I've had like a couple of nasty comments. But not like, yeah, I mean, one person posted on one of my shorts on YouTube, look at all the comments, because there wasn't any. I mean, not particularly nasty. And then I had a Facebook troll. He just wouldn't leave me alone, just like popping up, hey, it's like, go away. See you posted, shit, that kind of stuff. I was like, brilliant, just leave me alone.
And always remember that it's a reflection of them and their lives and their personalities. It's not personal. It might feel personal. The thing they're saying might feel personal, but actually they don't care about you as such. They've got something going on in their own lives. Like every bully, they've got something going on in their own lives and they need to release it in some way. And for some reason, this is the way people like to do it.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, but it's them, not us.
It is.
And you don't see them making content most of the time. Actually, there is one guy on Instagram that I've just recently discovered. He is an Irish bodybuilder. And when men make horrible comments on particularly ladies' pages, he goes, oh, don't worry, I got you. And then he'll like Facebook stalk them and make a bit of a mockery of them, which is it's quite good. I mean, we shouldn't laugh at them, obviously, but at the same, because then it makes us just kind of as bad.
But I do appreciate anyone who stands up to an online bully, for sure.
Yeah, he's good. I'll send him to you later.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's pause there with TikTok and the life of Michelle. Let's do the questions, and then we'll see where we can come back to after the questions as to what more TikTok tidbits we can get out of Michelle. I'm going to use that as one of my clips. Okay, question number 1. You've alluded to your age so far. No, actually, you haven't alluded. You told us exactly. So, what is been your favourite age so far?
Yeah, I was thinking about this one. I think I'm in it. I genuinely think I'm in it, because as much as there are issues that come with being in your mid-40s, especially as a female, my life the way it is now is, if I could keep it like this, I think I probably would. So I'm very fortunate in that, I was able to, my dad retired and closed down the old company. So I'm now able to run my own life. I've got my own business. I have freedom, because I'm self-employed. I've got 2 kids. They're an age that I am loving right now. They're 7 and 10 years old, which means they're not babies and toddlers that are running around like headless chickens. And they're also not quite teenagers yet. And they still want to be around me. So it's just this really lovely age, and I love the time I spend with them. And because of the divorce that's going through and stuff, I feel like I'm at the very start of the rest of my life. And I don't know, there's just a lot of positivity, a lot of hope. I'm just thoroughly enjoying my life right now. And I think when I look back at what I would have wanted to have achieved if I had written it down, I think it is what I'm doing now. So if I could just stop now, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I love that answer. It's I mean, we've spoken about it before, the things that self-employment in itself is a journey, and you find yourself kind of wanting more, expanding your horizons, working on your mindset, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, inadvertently, you don't realize you're doing it, but then someone will say, "Oh, did you read this book? It's really good." And then you're like, "Oh, well, I'll have a quick read." And then all of a sudden you're like, "Whoa." But a lot of people on the show have said the age they are now.
They.
I think because of the type of people we all are, because we all have the common denominator in this show basically is most of the time that we are all self-employed or entrepreneurs or business owners, etc. And so there is a type of person, and you do have certain personality trait. And so I think we're all very similar in that we all strive to be better and do this, that, the other, and want more. And so I think every year you're going to go to a point where every year is the best year you've had. And I think that's probably why people say it's the age they are now, because they hope that there will be more on the horizon too. Okay, moving on. Question number 2. What is your favorite quote? This could be a movie, a meme, a motivational quote, or any other quote you can think of.
Right, this is a quote that has stuck in my mind for no good reason whatsoever, just because it makes me laugh. And it and it is not motivational in the slightest. I'm so sorry to anyone who wanted some motivation. Ask not what you can do for your country. Ask what's for lunch.
Nice.
When I first read that, it made me laugh, and it's the only quote that's stuck in my head. You know all these really big motivational quotes of, abundance and money, and no, they don't stick in my head. This sticks in my head. So that is my favourite quote.
When you said that it made you laugh, I half expected it to be something like "That's what she said" or something like that.
Yeah, no, not quite that lewd, but it's
it's a pretty good one.
It starts off quite deep, and then I just want the food, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, go on then, what's for lunch today?
Yeah, lunch today. Usually, my usual lunch is a sort of a meat cheese platter of some sort. So whatever's in the fridge, chuck it on the plate. What about you? What are you eating?
I'm probably going to have a cheese sandwich, as usual.
Cheese sandwich? I love a cheese sandwich, yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat a cheese sandwich.
You can't.
Right. Question number 3. Now, I'm not sure how we'll go about this one, but we'll see what the answer is. I think this is going to open up a conversation. So, Google Suite or Microsoft 365?
Well, like I said, I'm not techie in the slightest. I don't know what Google Suite is. So I do have Microsoft 365 because it's handy, isn't it, for all the different things. Is Google Suite the same thing?
It's like Google's version of Microsoft 365. So right. It's like Google Docs. I think, what do they call their things? Sheets is their version of.
Oh, all right. So I do have that too.
Yeah.
So I think it depends what I'm doing. So I will use the Google stuff for things that I need to keep in the cloud. And then I've got Microsoft 365 for things like my Outlook and calendar type stuff. So
yeah, nice.
No, bit
nice.
Of both.
Yeah, that's a common answer. Interestingly, I'm sure I've probably talked about this before, but I use Outlook for emails, but I use Google Calendar for my calendars.
Right.
And then I use the rest of Microsoft Suite. Occasionally, I'll use Google Sheets or Docs, depending on what client I'm working with. But yeah, I mean, that question didn't even factor into account that Apple users might use the Apple apps.
Well, I was going to say, because I do have an iPhone, and if I'm out and about, I'll use my note stock just to chuck ideas down and that sort of thing. So loads. And don't you find that there's so many different places? I was thinking the other day, I had messages at one point, unanswered messages on WhatsApp, emails, several different emails. I had some on TikTok, I had some on Instagram, and then Facebook, and there were loads of different places that people can message me, and I get very overwhelmed with how many places people can contact you or see you, or and like you say, there's the Google Suite, there's Microsoft, there's Apple stuff. I just get so overwhelmed by all of it. I wish there was just one thing that we all could sort of siphon it into.
Yeah, I suppose different platforms offer different kind of styles, don't they? Like I was messaging someone on Facebook Messenger the other day. Well, it used to be called Facebook Messenger, now it's just called Messenger. And because it's easier because it's on my phone and my iPad
Mm,
and my computer. So if I want to swap between devices, or if I put my phone on charge and then I'll be on my iPad for a bit, then I can continue a conversation. But WhatsApp is only on my phone,
right.
but he wanted to swap to WhatsApp for some secure messages. So I was like, okay then. But then I had to go and get my phone,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
I can have
because
I'll have a conversation. Oh yeah,
we were
sorry.
messaging on Instagram, weren't we? And then I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
"Can we swap to WhatsApp?" Because I don't like the Instagram messaging thing, but I
yeah.
do like the WhatsApp one. And if you're going to voice note, I prefer the WhatsApp one to the Instagram one. It's just yeah, we're all different, I think, aren't we?
All different horses and courses. That's the one. Right, cool. Let's move on to question number 4. What app can you not live without?
Okay, so I mean, there's plenty of apps that I'm sure people have heard of, but there is one. Let me just double check what it's called. If you're sort of scrolling on TikTok or somewhere and someone recommends a TV show and you think, I wonder if I can get that on my streaming service, let me just have a look what it's called. And of course, I can't see it right away. Yeah, so there's an app called Just Watch. Okay, and this is an app where someone will recommend a TV show, and I'll go on and because I've programmed in what streaming services I have, and things like iPlayer, ITV, Channel 4 one as well, it will tell you where you can find it for free.
Way.
Yes, it's amazing, and it's you don't use it every single day, but it's such a great app when you do need it. Just watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to look that up because the other day, I hate it when you think, oh, I'm going to see if I can find that particular film. And then you kind of Google it and it's like, oh, it's on Netflix. And so you go to Netflix and search it, it's like, we don't
It's
have it,
not
I'm
there.
sorry.
Yeah, no,
And
I know.
then, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the app that tells you.
Does it even tell you if it's like, if you can get it for free or if you're going to have to pay for it too?
Yeah, and it says so. Sometimes it's an Amazon paid for or something like that. Yeah,
Oh, that sounds really good. Because,
it
like,
is.
sometimes, say, for example, like, I wanted to watch Wayne's World a few months ago, yeah? So I'm like, I'll have a quick look on the old apps, and Amazon. It's like, watch this for 1.99. I'm like, I've already paid £8 a month. I'm not paying you more.
I
Then
know.
you're like, Netflix, not on Netflix. Then it's like it's on Paramount Plus. I'm like, I'm not subscribing to that. So then you go on to ITV, and there it is for free.
Right.
But yeah, otherwise, if you were really desperate for it, you might be like, oh, well, I'll subscribe to Paramount Plus for like, 7-day free trial. And
Yeah.
then you'll forget to cancel it. And then you'll be
Yeah.
charged 10.99. And then you're stuck forever.
Yeah. Forever. It's a loop.
Yeah, forever. Actually, speaking about this is a great topic to speak to you about, I think. But I realized that TV companies have done us dirty
Okay.
because in the old days, well, not the old days, but you know what I mean. we had we had those 5 TV channels, didn't you? And then we had Sky if you were lucky, and you paid a subscription for your Sky, and there was adverts on the Sky. So you're sat there on a Saturday afternoon watching Xena Warrior Princess on Sky 2, and then it was broken up into four quarters, wasn't it, with an advert in between, 3
Hmm.
advert sections.
Right.
So you're watching that, you're paying your subscription for Sky, and you're watching adverts, yeah? So then they introduce streaming services. And you're like, okay, streaming services must subscribe. That's okay, but no adverts. So yeah, no adverts. So we subscribe to the streaming services for no adverts. We get rid of our Sky subscription. Now they've started introducing adverts into streaming services. So we have to watch the adverts anyway. And now you can pay to remove the adverts.
I know. It's so cheeky because they put their prices up every year as well.
Yeah,
It's not like they're not doing that, and they put them up by a big percentage, and we just pay it like zombies. We just pay these things.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. I
it's
really
crazy.
like in terms of a streaming channel, I really like Apple TV. They've got some really good TV shows on there that have and I don't have a very a long attention span, and I've binge watched several of their TV series, and there are no adverts on there, so I really like Apple TV as a streaming service.
Okay, we've never done Apple TV. We have
Okay.
the rest. I recently cancelled my Sky TV subscription. I signed up with them because they offered me a really big good deal after we collectively together, me and Sky, we messed up a little bit. I said I was going. They said okay. They said you got 2 weeks. I went back and said I'm still within my 2 weeks. Put me back on. They said okay. Got to the day, the deadline day. My whole internet went off. I rang them up and said, "Hey, you said you were going to put me back on," and they said, "Yeah, we are." And I said, "Okay, when?" And they said, "In the next 2 weeks." I was like, "You're kidding me? I'm running a business from home.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't not have internet for the next 2 weeks. What's the fastest you can do it in?" So like 5 days. So I was like, "You have messed up here." So anyway, they were like, "Okay, we're really sorry. Here, have a deal on us for 18 months." I was like, "Cool." And then they were like, "Oh, by the way, do you want TV for an extra £7 or something?" And they were like, "That includes Netflix." I was like, "Well, I already paid £10 for Netflix." And they were like, "Yeah, we know." So I got like this amazing Sky deal, but that recently finished. So I renewed my internet with them because again they offered me a really good deal.
Hmm.
But for the TV they wanted £35 a month, and I'll be honest, they gave us one of those little Sky Puck things, and I haven't used it.
Right.
I used it for a little bit, but then you end up watching Amazon, Netflix, Disney Plus,
There's so many.
uh, yeah,
There's
whatever
so
else
many.
there is, and occasionally terrestrial TV. And I said to the guy, "Look, I want to cancel it." He says, "Oh, look, I'll do you a really good deal." I said, "How much?" And he was like, "This much." I can't remember what it was. But I was like, "Actually, whatever your name is, I can't remember what it was. I'm just going to cancel it because I don't watch it."
Hmm.
And I was like, and then, you sit down in an evening and you're like, "Right, we'll just have a quick watch or something. What do you want to watch?" "I don't know. Let's have a look." And you spend more time scrolling than you do watching a program.
I have a list, so people recommend shows and films to me, and I have a list
Mm.
like this, and I still sit in front of my TV sometimes and go, I don't know what to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know what's on that list, and I don't know what each thing is anymore because at the time it sounded great, but then I can't remember what it is, so I don't know where to start with the list. And the list just gets longer and longer.
Yeah, it's we as a bit of a joke, we watched a documentary on wrestling
Right.
that was out recently. Well, that wasn't the joke bit. Sorry, we watched that because we were like, remember late 90s, early 2000s WWE as it's known now.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's watch this documentary on Vince McMahon. So we watched it. I was like, "Oh, that WWF nostalgia, late 90s and well, even early 90s with Hulk Hogan and
Yeah.
Andy Savage and all that." I was like, should we give it a watch now that it's on Netflix? And now we stay for the plot. Not interested, just put it on in the background. 3 times a week we're watching bloody wrestling.
Is it good?
It's pretty good. The acting's
Okay.
terrible, but
Yeah.
it's a really good show for like putting on in the background while you're eating your dinner or scrolling on your phone. Look up occasionally. That person's won. Yeah.
If you want a really inspiring documentary that's on Netflix, watch the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. I think it's something like a three-parter, but he was, I think still is, but very laser focused on each aspect of his career,
Mm.
and it was so inspiring. I mean, he had no doubt in his mind he would achieve each individual thing, and he did, and he really did. But he was laser focused. It was brilliant, really good documentary.
Yeah, I'll give that one a look over the weekend when I'm thinking of what I can watch.
When you've run out of wrestling.
Yeah, well, we have just had an events weekend, so there was like 3 events over the last weekend. So now we just got Monday Night Raw to watch.
Okay.
Right, let's move on to the final question of our questions, which is how many unread emails do you have on your phone right now?
Zero.
You're a reader and a deleter, are you? Inbox zero
I'm
person?
sorry.
Inbox zero person?
Hang on. Yeah, let's have a look. I have two that has come in since we started. But yeah, no, I clear everything or I put it into a folder or yeah, no. I will maybe have two or three read emails that are sort of action points, something I need to do something about. But yeah, no, I can't. Those phones that have owls and unread, I don't know how people can do that. I just don't know. That's so stressful. And what are those emails? Why, how? I don't get it. But yeah,
I
there's
can't,
so many
yeah.
people like that.
We had one guest on the podcast, and I can't remember who it was, and I can't remember how many emails it was, but it was a lot. Um, And yeah, it's a bit like, oh, I
What's
understand them creeping up, but this was like 30,000 kind of thing.
Oh yeah. So what's yours? Where do you sort of land with your one?
It depends. Like my business inboxes, like my personal business one, and then a couple of client inboxes, they're like, 0, but they're like, I don't file them or anything. I just leave them there if I need to go back for something.
Hmm.
But then I use unread emails as a task list too. So I might I get an email, I'll read it, and I'll be like, okay, I'll do that in 5 minutes when I finish what I'm doing, and I'll mark it as unread.
Yeah. So you know you
My
still got to do
personal
it.
my personal email, I kind of let slip recently, and I just go in, check there's nothing really important, and I'll delete all those later.
Yeah, I do have moments where they tend to creep up, and I think if I have a busy few days and I don't have the chance to go in, a few times a day, and then I will have to set aside 15, 20 minutes to go through. But that's it's a minimal task. I always my personal goal as such is if I can scroll, if I'm say on my computer and I'm on my Outlook and I can scroll down, then it's too many. Maximum 6, 7 in my inbox, and that's it. Otherwise, I've got too many. But I get overwhelmed by stuff, so I have to keep on top of it. Otherwise, if I had 20,000 unread emails, that doesn't even count the ones you have read. It could be double or more, and that's no, I can't.
Yeah, we all have different coping mechanisms, etc., don't we? And systems and things like that. I know people that like if their inbox isn't empty at the end of the day, then they're like, oh, it's all gone to shit,
Yeah.
And then then I know people who are just quite happy to just have like 30,000 unread emails in their inbox and just like doing their
Yeah.
thing.
And do you know what? They're probably the happier people, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they're whatever. I'm just getting on with my life and doing the things I actually want to be doing rather than going through email. So,
Yeah.
all power to them.
I've mentioned this before on the show, so listeners/watchers forgive me, but I haven't mentioned this to Michelle. One time I saw on the internet the story that they get to the end of a workday, and if they haven't managed to do all their emails, any unread email is just deleted in the hopes that that person will come back to them if it's important.
Oh my God. I
Yeah.
couldn't do that either.
No, I mean,
No. Wow.
I can kind of see like if someone was like, say it was like an inquiry and like you were the best florist in the world or something, maybe say, and someone was really desperate for you to sort their flowers out.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've gone with a florist, but there you go.
It's very specific.
Yeah, welcome to the world of Richard's metaphors.
And floristry.
Yeah, so this florist is the best florist in the world. They get an email inquiry. It's 4 o'clock, not got through to it. They're like, I'm knocking off for the day. Delete. They hope that the person is so desperate to use them that they come back. Which, if you were desperate to use a certain company, then you would go back the next day. Hey, just wanted to check if you'd seen the below email. But then there is all the chance that if there was a world's second best florist, that the inquiring person may go to them because you didn't get back to them.
Yeah. I feel like that's very bad business practice.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess, do you know what? If you were, I'm just picking a person out of thin air here, Davina McCall. I can't even imagine how many emails you must get in a day. So you probably don't reply to them all.
No. And if someone wants Davina McCall, if they're like, let's bring back, I don't know, was she on Celebrity Big Brother?
Well, she presented Big Brother.
Okay, let's say they want her back. You're going to keep trying, aren't you? If the producers are like, we want Davina, that's it. And you're sat there like, I've got to get Davina, otherwise I'm going to lose my job.
Yeah, you keep going.
Yeah, keep ringing, keep emailing, keep messaging.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, question's done. What would you do if and when you grow up? Michelle, obviously, growing up, not essential.
Do you know, my kids, they're 7 and 10, and they're always talking to me about what they want to be when they're older. And usually it's something like, I want to be a YouTuber, or I want to be a singer, or, those kind of cute little things that they want to do. I think so long as what I've realised having done half of my adult life in finance is that's not for me, for sure. And so long as I can stay, I think I thought all that time I didn't have a creative bone in my body. And since I started doing social media, I've realised actually I have a really creative side to me. So long as I can keep doing something creative or just getting the word out there and trying to help people along the way, if that's possible, and sometimes upsetting people on the way, because that happens, doesn't it? I don't really care what it is I do, so long as I'm sort of accessing that inner creativity. But do you know what? If I could have any job in the world, I think I would like to drive fast cars all day long. Because nice. I know we were talking earlier about, I'm not really into cars, and it's more like, I'll go into a garage and go, I want the red one. That's my style of car picking. But the idea of just sort of driving fast cars around a racetrack, I couldn't care less what the car is, but that sounds good fun to me. Because we've done the Funpreneur Day Out, haven't we? And I'm quite an adrenaline junkie when it comes to roller coasters and things like that. So the idea of sort of just driving a fast car and fun. That's like a fun job.
Technically, we've done both Funpreneur Days so far.
We have done both.
Shout out to Yellow Tuxedo, often mentioned on the show. Don't sponsor it, I promise. Though if they want to, give me a shout out.
Yeah.
So thoughts on driving fast cars then? You could record it. You could be a YouTuber as well. That's how you can make your money on it.
Yeah, I mean, don't you have to have some sort of lessons?
But it depends on what type of fast cars you're driving, doesn't it? I mean, I doubt Jeremy Clarkson the postman just arrived. I doubt Jeremy Clarkson had any driving lessons. Well, I suppose he perhaps did, but then they made content after it, didn't they?
Maybe, yeah. But no, that would be great fun. Just going around a track or, I just think that would be such a fun way to live your life. But I don't know if you can get paid for that sort of thing, just sitting in a car and driving it. But yeah, I guess make content and you can get paid for it that way. I
was going to say, I think, here's what you should do, Michelle. I like this idea. And if you need like a co-host for it, give me a shout.
Are you into this? The fast driving?
I reckon you should reach out to someone on TikTok that does like those Ferrari days or something.
Yeah.
Or, other car makes available that they do those days where you test out like the range of cars that they have. And you could probably reach out with your TikTok account and tell them that you're going to make, UGC or affiliate marketing for them, content. We'll go drive some cars all day, create videos, a couple of long form videos, loads of short form clips, boom.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Do you know what? I wouldn't have a clue how to film that. Because the majority of my content, I literally just pick up a phone and talk at it. And you can't do that when you're driving, can you? So I'd have to have equipment where it's all sort of attached to the car and, that sort of thing.
Okay, so here's what we do.
Okay.
We'll worry about the hosting. We'll give Joe at Mindful Creative a shout. I'm sure he can help us out.
There's always someone that can help. Yeah. I just love the idea of doing it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we'll work it out. Sounds great. Sounds like a great day. We'll get Yellow Tuxedo to sponsor it as well.
Yeah. Alan wouldn't be able to go in the cars because he'd be sick, but Emily would love it.
I'm sure she would. Perhaps they could come along. Perhaps they could film a little bit for us.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds brilliant.
Let's do it.
Put that in the diary. And make sure to tag me in the TikTok post. And I look forward to doing that later this year. So we've done what you wanted to do. We've done the questions. We've done how you got to where you are now. I think we're pretty much there, Michelle. What do you think?
Yeah, fab. It's genuinely, this has just been like a nice chat, hasn't it, really?
That's the aim. That was like the Rad-Ventures aim. It was like a nice chat. People telling their stories of how they got where they are. Because everyone loves a story, don't they?
Yeah.
We've spoken about that before. Clearly, with your TikTok, with the transition to TikTok 2. Everyone loves a story. Everyone loves people's opinions. Throw a few TV shows in there. Shout out to the WWE. This is going to be another clip so that I can get my fame and fortune that way. And Joe Rogan, if you do need a spare co-host, give me a shout. Michelle, tell everyone where they can find you to interact with you.
I mean, I'm on TikTok, obviously, and literally just my name, michelle.haslam. So if you want to go and see, don't upload quite so often at the moment because I'm sort of creating this digital marketing business as well. So that one is called Michelle Makes Money. Just me trying to create a new business, really. And then if you want an easier place to actually message me, LinkedIn, I'm just on there as well.
Perfect. I'll put those in the show notes. If you're still with us, thanks for watching. If you are a fan of the show, you can now support us on Patreon. If you're interested in using Riverside, there is an affiliate link. Highly recommend the platform. Another affiliate link on with Moxie. Affiliate links everywhere. Click them. Support the show. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Michelle, for coming on. Lovely to speak to you. And I'll be back next time. But in the interim, be excellent to each other. And peace out. Thanks for joining us on Rad-Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe via your favourite platform. Always happy to chat, so hit me up in the DMs. And I'll see you on the next Rad-Venture.